After my father passed away, my mom dumped me to the curb because she found a new guy. And guess what? This new guy already had a family, so she told me she doesn't want me or need me. So she blocked my number and I did not hear from her. Until this happened when I decided to get a bit of revenge. My mom's recently started dating again, and I'm having a hard time getting along with her new boyfriend's kids, even though she's forcing me to. So, my mom, who has been single for over 5 years, she's started dating again, and yeah, I'm happy for her. It's just that I don't like the new guy's kids. The guy she's dating seems to be a very good guy, don't get me wrong. He's successful, a software engineer who owns his own company and is involved in various businesses. He was even nice enough to let me do a job shadowing for a project at school. For context, I'm 16, but I'm going to turn 17 in a couple of months. I honestly cannot wait to grow up and go to college. That way, I'll be able to escape my overprotective mother. I love her, but she tends to be overprotective of me a lot. I don't blame her at all. I mean, father passed away 5 years ago in an accident. His death was difficult for all of us, and mom changed. It was like her light dimmed. She used to be so outgoing, fun, full of life, but she's just living at this point. But slowly, mom started to participate in events around town with her friends and meet new people. This is how she met Tristan, whom she had been dating for over 6 months. My mom's 39, but Tristan's 42, and he has 2 adult kids. I did not meet them until 2 months ago when I also met Tristan. The great part about my mother dating again is that she lets me have my own alone time. When she has nothing to do, she would always hover and just involve herself in my life left and right. But then, now that she's dating, I hardly ever see her since Tristan always keeps her so darn busy. The only problem with their entire relationship is that I'm forced to spend time with his kids. He has a son who's 13 and a daughter who's 20. The son's a menace, as most boys are that age, I guess. He gets everything that he wants from his dad and is extremely impolite. He hates my mom, and there was a time when he nearly made her cry. After that incident, though, I decided that I was never going to try and make an effort with him. His name is Evan, and then there's Lucy, the utter bane of my existence, who has managed to get me in big trouble and my mom has grounded me. It all started a few days after I met them. She texted me and asked if we could hang out, and my mom loved the idea and immediately permitted it. When I hung out with her, I saw that she was cool. She was a grown-up and could do things that I could not, so of course I started to hang out with her more often, not realizing that she was using me. For instance, there was a weekend when both of our parents were away and she asked to borrow my car. My mom bought me a car. It's a second-hand vehicle that she got at a decent price. I'm still learning to drive and cannot drive it without her in the car. Lucy knew that, but she still suggested that I let her drive the car and go and see her boyfriend out of town. She promised that she would owe me and I could ask for anything. I already knew what I wanted to ask for, and there were some items of clothing of hers that I had been eyeing. What I did not think to question was why she did not just get a cab or use her father's car. I later found out that she was not even supposed to be driving due to the number of tickets that she got on her own car. Her dad sent the car back to the dealership and banned her from driving completely. My dearest friend Lucy managed to get the car in a mini little accident. When my mom came back home the next morning, she woke me up with a cold glass of water to the face. Once the confusion had cleared, I was able to hear what she was shouting about. It was that the car's bumper was literally hanging off. I was shocked, because I had not seen this, and I tried to explain to my mother that it was Lucy who did it. My mom called Tristan and demanded that he should bring Lucy. Lucy did not feel sorry for what she did, though. She denied it and said that I was using her as a scapegoat. I simply had to produce the text messages in order to expose her in front of both my mom and Tristan. As you can imagine, Tristan was very angry and he said he'd deal with his daughter. As for myself, my mother was furious. She said that Lucy could have ended up in a car accident just like my father, and she would have nothing to say to her father. She also told me that she felt as if I should wait until I'm 18 before I resume my lessons. She felt that I was irresponsible and that she could not trust me. Her words hurt, but I knew I deserved them after I deceived her like that. So, now I'm grounded for the next month thanks to Lucy, who I hate with a passion now. I also found out that her father did not punish her. She texted me after she left, letting me know that her father did nothing and that she hoped I got very strong punishment because I'm a snitch. I hated her so much. I even started having bad thoughts and wishing that my mother would break up with Tristan. I don't know what it is about him. She can go get another guy who does not have entitled kids like him. I would love to tell her how I feel, but I fear that she's going to choose him over me. In a way, she already has. So, for the past few days, I've been grounded, right? Well, my mom told me to get ready one evening because we're going out for dinner with Tristan and his kids. I did not want to go, but she was not going to take no for an answer. Dinner was awkward because I did not want to speak to either Tristan or his kids. I have still not forgiven him for lying that he was going to punish his daughter and not doing it. It was his kid's fault in the first place because she got me to give her my car. And to make things better, Mom found a ring in her dessert, so hooray! She and Tristan are getting married and I can't wait. Not. This is a disaster. It means that I'm going to have to stay with him and his kids after they get married, and I hate both of his kids. Each one is a different kind of evil. They're both so ungrateful and spoiled as well, and I can't believe that my mother wants to get married to him. I did not know that my mom noticed how unhappy I was about the situation, but then when we got back home, she said, and I quote, "Why can you not be happy for me once?" Mom, I have no idea what you mean. Liar! I saw how upset you were the whole dinner. I just can't believe that these two are going to be my step-siblings. Go to your room. I'm getting very angry even looking at you right now. Well, the issue did not end there. Every once in a while, she brings up how selfish I'm being, and she's trying so hard to get me involved in a wedding planning. But I just cannot pretend like everything's okay. I feel like I've lost her to Tristan and those kids. She even treats those brats better than she treats me, and I know for a fact that she's just doing it to suck up to Tristan. Her wedding's coming up in a few months, and I'm dreading the day I have to move in with him. I would like to ask you to please help me with some coping mechanisms when it comes to step-siblings that are entitled. I know I cannot stop the wedding, so now I'm just looking for ways to deal with what's coming after. My mom's always scolding me about my behavior, but I'm really trying to be nice to Amanda's children. I simply don't know what to do. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Looks like we got ourselves a little family drama. Okay, so there is multiple updates for this one. If you guys are new, make sure you smash that subscribe button for daily videos. And let's jump into update number 1. Well, turns out that I had nothing to worry about because I will not be living with my step-siblings. In fact, I'm not even living with my own mother anymore. She dumped me at my grandma's doorstep as soon as she got married. She left town to stay with him in his big house, and I've only seen pictures of it. Every night I cry myself to sleep because my mother abandoned me. She tried to make it seem like she would come back for me, but she would not. I see that she has already moved on with her life and has forgotten me. It sucks because I never got a heads up. She made me attend that wedding, pretending that we were going to have a very good life with Tristan. And when she came back from her honeymoon, she simply told me she could not live with me because she wants to focus on her marriage. She promised to visit me and tried to make it look like it was no big deal. I don't know, guys, it just all really hurt me. She's replaced me with them, and I see her posting those kids on social media, telling them that she loves them when she has not answered my text in the past month. In the beginning, she pretended as if she cared about me and she called me sometimes, but those turned into text messages, and even then, those fizzled out too. She does not care about how well I'm doing at school. All she cares about is spending his money. She also loves posting about her husband on social media and getting compliments from people because he's handsome. He may be handsome, but on the inside, he's rotten. As soon as he married my mom, he dropped his nice guy act, and I've only seen both of them once in the past 90 days, and he was very cold towards me. He acted as if I was not there, and he only acknowledged my mother and his kids. It troubles me, and I cannot help but blame myself, because in all honesty, I was not supportive. I feel maybe she felt that she had to choose between me and Tristan, and well, she chose him. At least I have my loving grandmother to take care of me, as I take care of her. Grandma and I love each other, care for each other, and fill the gap that my mother's left. She gets money for my essentials from my mom every month, and I guess I should at least be glad that she's supporting me monetarily. But it hurts to know that I was such an inconvenience in her life, and she decides to cut me off because of a man she barely has known. I wish my father was alive nearly every damn day, because the hole that she's left in my heart is growing every day, and I'm hurt. Update number 2, 4 months later. Hey guys, I seriously did not think things would get worse, but they did. You know how my grandmother is old and I have to take care of her sometimes? Well, she really misses Mom and has expressed that she wants to see her for the holidays, so even though I've not spoken to her in a while, I decided to contact my mother and ask to spend the holidays with us. But then I found out that I've been blocked. It was a bit weird because this month she still sent the money. I tried to call her, but it was no luck. Seeing that she blocked me made me so angry, I made a bit of a rash decision. I decided to go and confront her in her home. I didn't know where she lived, but I knew the town. So I told my grandmother that my mom had called me for the weekend, and I packed a bag and I left. It did not take me long to find her house, and by that evening I was able to make my way there. When I arrived, someone let me in when I said that I was her family. I was surprised. I thought I'd be kicked out immediately. "Well, you look even more beautiful than the photos," that's what the woman who let me in said, and she appeared to be the helper. My mom showed you?" "Yeah, I saw your pictures while cleaning. I didn't know that we were expecting you, honey." Don't worry, I won't be staying long." "Oh, well, come this way." So I walked into the dining room where my mother was busy laughing at some joke somebody had said. My stepfather was at the head of the table and he was looking amused, and I recognized my step-siblings, but there was a couple sitting across from them that I did not know. My mom stopped laughing as soon as she saw me, and she turned as pale as a sheet. "What are you doing here?" "Hey, Mom, how are you doing?" She got up, took my hand, and kept on walking. She took me up some stairs, opened up a room, and then she slapped me. And tears sprung through my eyes. "What do you think you're doing?" "Well, I came to see you since you blocked me." "Do you know how you just made me look? Those people have no idea that you're my daughter. Are you trying to ruin me?" She spat pure fire, and I rebutted with, "But Mom, what have I done that's made you hate me so much?" Well, she says that she does not hate me, but she's married now and needed to start her life over. She told me that she did not have space in her life for me, and I simply tried to explain to her that we wanted her to spend the holidays with us, but she told me there's literally no chance that's happening. She also told me that she would unblock me, but I was only to talk to her if I needed money or if it's something happening to her mom. Then she told me to get out, never come back, and called an Uber for me to go directly back home. Then she moved on with her life. Well, my grandmother was very sad during the holidays, even though she tried to put on a brave face for me. I felt like such a failure and a rejection. I think it's safe to say that I no longer have any parents. My father passed away, and my mother may well just not exist? To me, she does not exist. She made it very clear when she rejected me in front of her family, and she prefers those two ill-mannered kids over her flesh and blood. I hope that one day she'll realize that what she is doing is wrong and she'll come back to me. When she does that, I want to kick her out of the very same way that she kicked me out. No matter how much she cries and she begs, I will never forgive her betrayal. Her rejection of me proved what I suspected, that she abandoned me so that she could fit in with Tristan's class. Well, you know what? I hope that it's worth it. Update number 3, 3 months later. Alright guys, I got a shocker for you. Guess who came crawling back when her dear husband grew tired of her? That's right, mommy dearest, but I have no intention of letting her back into my life. My grandmother has asked me to consider forgiving her. She says that people make mistakes and learn from them and they deserve second chances. Well, it's easy for Grandma to say that when she's practically a saint. But I've seen what my mother has done to her. She's broken her own mother's spirit and she thinks that she can just walk back into our life. Highly unlikely. My mother showed up 2 weeks ago when I least expected her. I was at school participating in a debate. It was against the rival school, and it was going very well. For the first time in a long time, I was focused. My mind was sharp, and I did not feel the deep sadness I've been feeling for months. I was busy formulating my argument for the final round when I saw her sitting in the audience. I first thought it was an apparition caused by a trick of light. I ignored her and looked elsewhere, thinking that she would just up and disappear, but oh no, that was her sitting there. Immediately, my chest started to hurt, and I found it hard to breathe. The shock was too much. I lost my focus. She unnerved me, and I wanted to run off the stage and just hide. I was overcome with the need to cry. Tears of anger were threatening to fall down, but I kept my composure. It was difficult to pretend that she was not just sitting there as if it was normal. I did well, even though we did not win. After the debate, I looked for her in the end, but I could not find her. I searched high and low, but it was like I had imagined her. Then I went back home where my grandmother told me that a package had arrived for me. It was clothing. Lots of clothing, and they were all designer. This had my mother written all over it, and she even left a note saying that she was so sorry for missing my birthday, but she would make it up for it. And then she began texting me, but I didn't respond, so I decided to pull a trick out of her sleeve. I blocked her. So then she resorted to calling, but I refused to speak to her when grandmother brought the phone to me. Just the idea of speaking to her made me absolutely sick. I hated her, and I wanted nothing to do with her. No amount of clothing could solve what she had done to me. Then she tricked me into meeting up with her, and I thought I was meeting up with someone who wanted to offer me a weekend job, but it was in fact her. I wanted to leave in the beginning, but she begged me to stay. She looked very pale and had lost a lot of weight since the last time I saw her. She was still dressed in a way that she had been when I saw her, and she had an aura of wealth and power, like a perfume with a scent that was too strong. I told her she had 10 minutes to speak and then I would have her leave. So, then she told me what happened to her. Tristan made her choose between him and me after he proposed, and he felt as if I did not get along with his children and he wanted my mother to be focused on him and his family only. So she dumped me with my grandmother and did not tell anyone where they lived, and never said that she had a child. She was a housewife, responsible for taking care of his kids who were both nightmares. Lucy especially, who was supposed to be in college already but refused to enroll and spent her days partying and spending her father's money. Yeah, her brother was absolutely no better. All this time, she had no idea that her husband was dating another woman. When she found out about it, she made a scene in front of his friends, and you can imagine that he did not appreciate that. Afterward, the marriage started to crumble, but she decided to fight and went with him to a marriage counselor. But just a few months later, she found out that he was dating somebody else for good. Her husband had no remorse, In fact, he told her to get used to it or leave. She decided to leave and filed for divorce. She was still financially sorted, but he was working hard to make sure that she did not get anything. But since he's the one who cheated and she was dependent on him throughout the marriage, she has a chance of walking away richer than when she came in. She told me that she did not care about the money. What she cared about was getting back the life that she had before. Being a housewife drove her mad. She did not get along with any of the other housewives, and his kids gave her headaches and his cheating broke her heart. What broke her heart even more was that she missed her family. She found it hard to be apart from me, but she would not see me for as long as she would be married to him. But once she filed for divorce, she decided that she was done and that she wants me back in her life. I'm sure you're shredding a few tears by now, huh? The whole story's sweet, a mother's love that never went away. But I'm not emotionally affected at all. I feel that she's being manipulative and is scared of being alone. So she wants me to come back into her life so that I can help her feel better about herself. We did that for each other when my father passed away, and we were each other's emotional support, and we were able to deal with the grief. But I'm not so sure that I should allow her back into my life. I can't just forgive her because she's my mom. I told her that I need time to think about it. I told my grandmother what happened, of course, and she's very sympathetic about it. Update number 4. I told my mother that I need space to process everything and learn to forgive her, but she did not take the hint. Instead, she employed another tactic, which was to get me through with my grandmother. I don't know what I thought would happen. Maybe she would respect my decision and I would slowly start to respect her again. Because to be honest, I missed my mother, who was so maternal, who I could talk to about anything, but I needed time to heal, and most importantly, I wanted to stay with my grandmother. Well, the woman who gave birth to me starts to visit grandma all the time and spend a lot of time with her. Whenever she was home, I ignored her. This was because her conversations were so darn boring. She asked me the same things over and over and over, and she also loved to talk about her life when she was still staying with Tristan. I didn't want to know about her holidays in different countries, or how many times that she met and had dinner with celebrities. She sacrificed me for all that, so am I supposed to just sit here and be happy for her? Because for once she got to see how the rich side of lives live? Her manipulation went on for a while, and then I came home to the bad news. She and her grandmother told me that they had something to tell me. Grandmother was getting old and would need constant care, so Mom was sending her to live in a retirement village, the best in town. She could afford this because she got a lot of money in alimony. Since my grandmother was going to a retirement village, this meant that she was going to live with me. I was not a fan of this idea. I hated the sight of her. I didn't want to live with her. I'd gotten so close to Grandma, and she knew that. It seemed like she was in the habit of taking away anything that I loved, and I protested against it. I begged her, but she did not let up. She lost her temper with me when I told her that I would rather die than live with her again. I'm your mother. You'll watch what you say to me. Do you understand me? No, I don't want to live with you. I'd rather you just put me in foster care. Lenora, I'm trying. I made a mistake and I admit it, but you're just being bitter. It's going to get you nowhere. Okay, well, you can't make me do anything. She told me that I was going to stay with her whether I wanted to or not, and according to the law, she can do that. Even though she abandoned me for months, she's still allowed to stay with me. There's nothing that I can do because I'm not of legal age. So, she shipped my grandmother to some retirement village and does not even allow me to go see her. As for our relationship, it's gotten worse day by day. Each day my resentment grows, and I struggle to find that woman who used to be my kind and considerate mom. She feels that how I'm acting is because there's something wrong with me, so now thanks to her, every day after school I'm forced to attend therapy.
As I've already told the therapist and her, the problem is that I don't want to see her face. But she does not let up. She drags me along to these social events and makes me wear ridiculous stuff. There, I have to be nice to people I don't give a damn about, and make her look good. I hate it. Every day of my life is spent in misery. I still do not forgive her. In fact, I hate her even more now. She's fake, a pretender, and I hope that one day she'll be exposed to everybody. Everyone loves her. My friends even tell me how lucky I am to have such a rich mom. I'd prefer to switch places with any of them any day of the week because this is not living. I'm living with a stranger who calls herself Mom. I don't know what to do. What do you guys think that I should do? Final update, 1 year later. Hey everyone, so it's been a while since I've posted an update. Thank you everybody for the much messages that you sent me. At the time, I was in a very dark place. My resentment was eating me up inside because of what my mom did and how she was trying to force me to forgive her. So soon after I graduated high school, I moved out of her house. I now stay with my aunt, my father's sister, who lives across the country. I'd been talking to her over the past few months about what was happening, and she could not afford to fight the custody battle for me, so we decided that I would leave as soon as I graduated, and in the months before that, I stopped being mean to her, just to make her less suspicious. She would try to stop me. She had the money and power for it, to be honest, and I just needed to get as far away from her as possible. As soon as I graduated, I sold a lot of my valuable things, and I booked it out of town. She was furious, and she said that I had made her laughingstock of the entire town because everyone was saying that, well, I went and eloped. I hoped that the rumors would get worse, just so that she can be embarrassed even further. I've already told her not to look for me, otherwise I will get a restraining order against her. So, I've completely cut contact with her, none at all. It's done wonders for my mental health. I'm much healthier here. I got a job at a popular fast food franchise, and I'm saving up money. My aunt and her family were very welcoming to me. They are such a happy family. They don't have much, but they are genuine. I also feel closer to my father when I'm here. My aunt's been telling me so much about him that I didn't even know. I'm not sure if I want to go to college or start a side hustle, but we'll see. But I'll tell you one thing for certain. Before the end of this year, I need to go and visit my grandmother. She knows that I left, and I went to see her before leaving, and she supports it. My mom barely even goes to see her. She has now seen that her daughter is no good. I'm happy that her eyes are finally open, though. I hope that my mom will get what's coming for her one day for how she has hurt people. She does not care whose back she steps on to get what she wants. She's so different from how she was when I was growing up. I have no idea what's changed with her. See how I knew that I should not forgive her when she came crawling back? Well, I don't blame Tristan for changing her or forcing her to abandon me. She made her choices, and now she has to live with them.
Alright guys, so this story was rather sad in many parts of it, but what do you guys think about OP at the end of the story, up and moving across the country to go live with her aunt? Do you think it was a right decision, or do you think that maybe she should have gave her mom another chance? Drop your comments down below. The comment section of the original post actually seemed to be a little mixed on the subject. About 50% were saying, hey, you probably should give your mom another chance, she was going through a lot, yada yada yada. The other half were saying, no, she does not deserve another chance, she abandoned you. So I want to know where you guys think about it at. Drop your comments down below. If you want more daily videos, it's so simple. All you have to do is subscribe, because I drop a video every single day. Guys, have an amazing day, and remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.